Hey everyone, we're going to get started shortly. I am just grabbing my own link. Just give me a moment and we will get started. Sending myself a link because I am going live on Clubhouse. Okay, there we go. Grabbing my link. Hey everyone, I am Dr. Mina Blazy, and we are going to get ready to get started in just a moment. If you have a laptop, I am live. I am live on YouTube because I am going to be going over Lexile and Quantile Scores, and from the perspective of the educator and the teacher.
According to Steam,
and of course, Alexa wants to talk to me right now, so be quiet, Alexa. So I pinned the link at the top. I'm live on YouTube, and I'm giving a perspective of what the Lexile and Quantile scores look like from the perspective of the teacher. You're welcome to jump in. I highly recommend it. And the reason why, and I will be sharing my screen shortly, is because Lexile and Quantile measures actually are measures that allow you to benchmark where students are in the classroom, or if you have your own children and you want to look at what they're doing with regards to college and career. So Lexile and Quantile scores are measures that have been around for a while, and if you have the ability to look at Metametrics, I highly recommend that as well. Not very many people use the data, but guess what? Here's what's amazing. For those of you that I'm going to share my screen right now, if you do have that this website, it's called hub.lexile.com. These states that I'm going to mention right now offer this website for free for teachers if you have an educator email. So for example, Wyoming offers it free for educators, California, Nevada, Texas, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana. So just a few of the states that offer it. And what's amazing about this is that you get to see the perspective from the student and where they are growing with their Lexile score and Quantile score, and you get to use it to inform your instruction. So here's some information that I want you to know. In most states, actually all states, when a student takes the state assessment, typically it's 3rd through 8th grade, and then in the state of California, it's one assessment, which is 11th grade. All students get a Lexile and Quantile score. You probably didn't realize, though, that if students are taking a local assessment like Start Reading or Math or iReady, there are other assessments as well, they get a Lexile and Quantile score as well. Now, it has to be turned on by the administrator and at the district level, but you can see their Lexile and Quantile score. Now, just know that there are no such thing as Lexile and Quantile tests. What happens is state tests or local indicator assessments actually give you a Lexile and Quantile score based on the RASH model, and not everybody realizes that. So just from that perspective. So again, I am live on YouTube. If you have the ability to log into YouTube so you can see what I'm going to present, I personally would appreciate it. Because I want to give you some information around how to use, especially if you're an educator, how to use those Lexile and Quantile scores. And I am going to give you some information on what that looks like for your perspective. But before I really get into that, I wanted to let you know that if you go to my Instagram link tree, and I don't want to pin that link right now because I want to leave this link here. If you go to that, you will get some resources regarding Lexile and Quantile score, the scale. So for Lexile score, I will tell you that it starts with a BR. So students that are beginner readers, they are it's really not a negative score. So, but for example, if a student has a score of 400 BR, that means they're a beginning reader. Once they get into above 0, like 100 Lexile, they are considered a reader. And then same with Quantile scores, if a student has what we call an EM, an early mathematician score, and it's for EM 400, for example, they are an early mathematician. So again, I highly recommend that you jump onto YouTube, click on that link, and jump in so that you can see the Lexile and Quantile score. So I am going to log in, and well, actually, before I log in, I'm going to show you how to register. So you can actually register as an educator, parent, or researcher. If you're in any of the states that I mentioned, or the other states that are listed there, it's free for educators. It's free for parents at a glimpse, but it's only $17.99 for parents, and for the year. If I didn't have access to this, I would be doing this as a parent, or if I was a homeschool teacher. So let me just go ahead and sign in. So again, I'm at hub.lexile.com. It does give you quantitative scores as well. This is through the website Metametrics. And before I go into that, I'm going to show you that you have access to Metametrics. If you go to Metametrics, you can select the site, lexile.com, quantile.com. Lexile.com, for example, gives you tools for parents and tools for educators. And the same with Quantile. Notice that the Lexile framework is in green and the Quantile is in blue. So you kind of know where you are. So you can always look at this and see what from that perspective. So what I wanted to show you is that when you log in as an educator, And if you're in YouTube, feel free, you can ask me something, or you can actually, if you wanted to come up to the stage and you have questions, feel free to do so. But one of the things around Lexile and Quantile scores that, and I'm just pinging some people in the room here, is that you want to look at, you can look at finding a book, you can look at grade level, you can look at text analyzer, growth planner. What's new is the Lexile career database. What I really love is the word list. That is absolutely amazing. So take a moment, and for those of you that are already on YouTube, welcome. I appreciate you. I'm also on Clubhouse. So, and that's an Audible app. So one of the things that, again, click on that link above, so you can see what I'm doing on YouTube. And yes, you can do it on your phone and kind of watch and follow along. But you'll see that on the left, you see Lexile. It gives you a list of things you can do in Quantile. Now, I do like to go into Quantile. So there are things that you can do. You can turn the star on or off, but I tend to have them all on because I like them all. So here's what I like to show people is that when you go into, you can go into growth planner, you can go into grade level charts. I like to go into grade level charts and share this information. What happens with the grade level chart is that you can actually see, if I can make it just a tad bigger for you, you can select a specific grade. And like I said earlier, you see that EM, that's an early mathematician. And then once you get M, and you can actually see that you can change it. So this is a 50th percentile at the end of the school year and 90th percentile. You can change it to compare between 75 and 90 percentile. Or you can actually look at where it would be at the 10th percentile. And you'll notice that kindergarten is at an EM of 410 quantile. So I'm personally fascinated with it. So for example, if I wanted to look at, say, I'm just going to pick 5th grade, and I wanted to see and compare it with 50 percentile right now. What you will notice is that if the student is at the 90th percentile in 5th grade, they will have a 960 quantile score. Here's what's interesting about this. You can take this number and then go back to your Quantile tools and go to the growth planner. And now this is what educators can do. So if you do this and you are like, okay, so what do I do now? I'm in the growth planner. So I can go to add or edit. I know that the student is about a 960. We'll just go with the student tested at the beginning. We'll say they just tested in November and it's 5th grade. And the start of the school year was around August. Now I know that ours was actually a little bit earlier, but that's okay. And then I submit. And when I submit this information, you will see that this student, so this blue part is very important. This student, by the time they get to 12th grade, will be at a 1500 quantile. What's good about that is that they are going to be ready for college in mathematics. And then if you wanted to go and say, okay, now I know that this student is well on their way, they're way above the average, and you can actually turn on, you can actually look at the 5th percentile, 25th percentile, 75th percentile, 95th percentile. You can go to a career. And what's amazing about this is that, let's say the student wanted to be, let's pick a science. They wanted to go into science, and we can pick aerospace engineer, and we click submit. It now tells you that if they're an aerospace engineer, you need to have at least a 1500 quantile. So they're ready to go. It gives you between 1495 and 1750. And if they want to be an astronomer, you can see that it's at 1350 to 1610. And if they want to be an environmental economist, it's between 1320 and 1450 quantile. So that's what's amazing about this, is that you now can have conversations with your own students. If you're a parent, you can too. It's only, I think it's about $17.99 or $18 a year to get all this information. You now know what you need to do for that student if you needed to intervene. Now, let's say that this student was actually at a 750 and we submitted it. So, and now we can see that the perspective of this student without interventions will be at just above a 1200 quantile, maybe 1275. And they may need a little bit of intervention. So if you did nothing for this student and they just went to class every day, they will be almost ready to be an aerospace engineer. But if you now know that you can intervene with this student. So that's what's fantastic about this information. So this is actually fun. So if you also go to what I also like it for Lexile, let me go to the Lexile Tools, is that it will give you word lists. And I was just in another room where somebody was talking about the academic language of students. Like, how do we know what they need? So let's say they were that 5th grader and we wanted to know words and word frequency. We could download a spreadsheet or a PDF. And I'm actually going to download it and then I'm going to open it up as it's thinking. And when you get this information, it's thinking hard. I don't know if it downloaded. Let me see if it downloaded for me. It could take a little bit of time because the words, there could be a lot. So while it's downloading, what's nice about this, it gives you the word list. And then with that word list, let me see if it will go faster if I just do words only. It's thinking, which is okay. But you can also get select domains with just, why it's not downloading. I need to select the domain. So I can download the list and it tells me that in 5th grade, these students should know these words, which is nice because not all teachers actually know and realize that you need to have this academic language in order to help students. So prism, ratio, numerical, calculator, factorization, divisor, vertices. I mean, they don't even have that conversation necessarily with students. So you can do that you can do it by math domain, you can do it by science domain, you can do it by just in general, but look at the science words that a 5th grader should know. There are 3 pages, 2 of which have 3 columns, which, wow, how many 5th grade teachers actually have this conversation around these words? Now, I think that this word is a little bit controversial here, but think about it. They should know interaction. They should know the word helium, hydroelectric, hydrosphere, symbiosis, but that's 5th grade. So if you are talking in this language for students and you're using this, using hub.lexile.com, you have changed the game for your students. So again, if you're in the room, I'm talking about Lexile and Quantile Metrics. I am live on Facebook. I've done this a couple of times, and what I found is that you get the tool the way I see the tool. And if you are new to Lexile and Quantile measures, if you go to hub.lexile.com, you get both Lexile and Quantile information. Lexile and Quantile information is not, there is not an assessment you can take to get Lexile. I'm sorry, there is not a specific assessment, but it is attached to things like the end of the school state assessment. If you have star reading or math, it'll give you a Lexile and Quantile score or iReady, for example. And you can actually go into the Metametrics site that I mentioned earlier and actually see where you can get those assessments in case you wanted to take one, because Metametrics does not have a Lexile and Quantile measure. They use the RASH model in order to come up with the Lexile and Quantile measure, the same as all SBAC assessments. And actually iReady and Star Math do this as well. So again, I am live on YouTube. I have the link there. I highly recommend that you click on that link. If you want to come up and ask me some questions around Lexile and Quantile measures, I would appreciate it. It's fun for me. I know that my replays are on, but I probably won't keep this replay. I meant to turn it off, not a big deal, but you can always delete it from your feed if it's on your feed. So just to have a recap, The Metametrics is a site that offers anywhere in the United States or in the world for that matter. It gives you background in Lexile and Quantile measure. If you were to go to this site and click on Lexile framework, it gives you how to look at the framework for parents and students. And then it gives you how to look at it for educators as well. And notice that this background is in green. And then if you also look at quantiles.com, it also gives you the framework for parents and students and for educators. So I'm going to log back in so you can actually see the perspective. I'm going to sign out so you can see what it looks like if you've never actually logged in. I highly recommend that you consider registering, because if you go into register, as you can see, I wish I could swipe to the right. It doesn't allow me to, but it's free for educators in specific states. It's free for educators in California. As long as you have a teacher email, it's free for, in California, Nevada, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Texas, Oklahoma. It's free in Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana. It's actually free in North Carolina, South Carolina. It's free in Georgia. My eyes, this is very small, but it's also free in Hawaii as well. So once you register and you can click on educator, you put all your information in, magically you will get what I see. And it gives you Lexile tools for finding how to find a book for a student, grade level charts, text analyzer, growth planner, career database, word list. I'm a fan of the word list. And it also gives you measure manager. And then for the Quantile tools, and if I click on it, this is what it looks like. It will give you summer math challenges. So if you're a teacher and you want to give students math challenges while they're over the summer, they can do this. Again, this is free for every parent in the United States, but they don't get the same access as you do, but you can pay for it for $17.99 for the year. So if you are in one of those states and you're thinking, why doesn't my state pay for this? It's only $17.99. I think it's a great benefit. Again, so if you are on, if you see the link that's pinned at the top, if you click on it and it'll take you to where I am on YouTube. I'm actually going to save my link here so that I can go back to it. I'm going to go ahead and pin the actual hub.lexile.com for you, because that information is kind of nice to look at. So let me just grab that link. Oh, it's right there. Just grabbing it. Hopefully it works right away. So I'm just going to quickly edit the link and let you see it, but I will go back to the other link. This is the site that I am on. So, and you can play with it however you like, but I do recommend that every educator sign up, whether it's free or not, so that you can see these measures. The other thing that I will go back to is where it says information regarding your state. But what I also like is where it says, if you click on learn more, it gives you what the metric is and information about Lexile and Quantiles. It tells you what a quantile measure is. It tells you how to get to quantile measures, what to do with the quantile measures, the science behind the quantile measures, and fact sheets, which you want to go to fact sheets because the Quantile Educator Guide is nice. There's a Quantile Parent Guide, and there is a map, a Quantile map as well. So if you're on if you're live on YouTube, where I am right now, so let me go ahead and grab that link. If you do want to go there, copy it again. I'm gonna go ahead and paste this link. Okay, so this is what you actually can see, that I'm live on YouTube. So Lexile and Quantile Metrics, and then the Quantile framework. You see this on the right? This is amazing. It's nice and colorful, but it tells you for a quantile measure, an early mathematician, a kindergartner, is before actually maybe being able to understand number sense, maybe understanding that you can supersize this at 5 or at 10, or being able to count to 10. They might be able to do that, but they don't really understand the idea around numbers yet. And then as they get older, it gives you where they need to be for a certain grade. So if you were to click on it, it gives you impending skills. It describes what the focus skill might be. If you're in the actual hub.lexile.com, again, I am on YouTube. Feel free to click on that link, because this, every principal, every teacher should have this information. Again, it is free for the states that you see right now on the, and I am a little bit behind on YouTube for those, if you're feeling a little weird. It's free for teachers and principals and educators in the state of California, Nevada, Texas, Oklahoma, for example, Idaho, Wyoming, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. But it's also free for parents. It's free for parents anyway, but they don't get the same thing as you would. So the things that you see on the left, whether you log in or not, if you aren't registered, you can find a book. You can get a word list. You can get the word list by grade that students would need. And then for Quantile, you can get teacher assistant, math at home, and math skills database. Because what you can do, you can intervene as an educator. And so now I'll go back again to Lexile, hub.lexile.com. This is my login. And even again, it's only $17.99 a year. If you're not an educator or not attached to a school or district email. This, like I did earlier, I clicked on word list. You can click on a grade level. You can click on what students need in science. You can click on words only. You can download it as a spreadsheet or a PDF. I like the spreadsheet idea because you could sort them and check them off by student, what students know. Just like the dull sight words, you can ask students, do they know these words? And then you can focus on that. And then after you download it, science gives you 3 pages of words, 3 pages. I mean, look at these words. How many kids know xylem or nonmetal, sodium, vascular, animation, phylum? These are what 5th graders need to know. So if you have access to this, you can have a great conversation as a principal with your teachers. Now, again, Lexile and Quantile, there is no actual measurement. You can't just download an assessment that says Lexile and Quantile measured assessment. But if you've ever had iReady or Star Reading or Math, you can actually get Lexile and Quantile scores turned on by your administrator at the district level. Or every state assessment in the United States, 3rd through 8th grade, at least in the state of California, is 3rd through 8th grade, and then whatever grade level in high school that does it gives you a Lexile and Quantile score. The state of California sends these to students. So if you know what that Quantile score is, and I do like to look at that, because if you look at Quantile Tools, for example, and you go to the Quantile grade level chart, and I like the 5th grade, if you go to that and you see that the 50th percentile at the end of the year, a student would be at a 715 Quantile, or a 90th percentile, 960 Quantile, and the 96% or 96Q, a 960Q, you know what to do with the student. So we know that a student at 960 without intervention will be college and career ready. But a student, now let's just change it to a 10%, or if we go to 10, let me move that down, and 50%, at the end of the school year in 5th grade, a student might be at 475. So if I go back to my teacher, my Quantile Tools, and I click on growth planner, and I add that measure, and I put in that 450 that I just tested them, and they're in 5th grade, it will tell me where the student is projected to be without intervention at all. So this student without intervention at 12th grade will be at just above an 800Q Quantile. They will not be college or career ready. But it doesn't mean they can't do it. It means you need to intervene as a teacher. You need to do something differently. Because if this student chooses, if you click on that career field and let's say I'm just going to go to where I was before, science, and they want to be an aerospace engineer. To do that, it's thinking, what did I do wrong? Let's see, science, aerospace, submit. It's thinking, it says try later, but okay, so I'm going to try it later, but I did do this earlier. You can replay it. But what it said is that an aerospace engineer needs to be at 1500 quantile. And students that are ready for college are typically at a 1350 or 1400 quantile measure. And they're college and career ready. They're ready for the mathematics. Oh, I'm not signed in. That is why. So let me sign back in. You can do something differently with these students. If they aren't at the measure that you want them to be. So now I can do it. I didn't realize I wasn't logged in because I signed out on the other screen. And I'm just going to do this quickly. 5th grade. And as it's thinking, I will say that now I can add that field of science, and now I can do the aerospace engineer. And then on the right side, you'll see magic. These students should be around a 1500 quantile to 1800 quantile if they want to be an aerospace engineer. Never tell the child they can't. We need to intervene to help the child so that they can. Because assume that the economically disadvantaged they come into kindergarten not at the same place as other students. So just know that. Again, I am live on YouTube. So if you're here and you want to look at what I'm looking at, go to YouTube. I am on the website hub.lexile.com. And this is actually free because I did this earlier for these states in blue for teachers. It's free for any parent or student in the United States, but the states pay for teachers to have this, which is absolutely amazing. So, and then the other thing that I want you to know is that if you go to Metametrics, which is metametrics.com, metametricsinc.com, you can get all kinds of resources. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you ever have questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram. You can send me a message in this chat as well on YouTube. I will message you back. I am on Instagram at ninajblazy.com. If you're on Clubhouse, you can DM me in Clubhouse as well, or you can go to Facebook and send me a message. I do appreciate you. Again, I was live on YouTube going over Lexile and Quantile measures. If you want to click on that link and go back, you can gain all that information. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. And I do greatly appreciate that you were here with me on YouTube. It was a fun experience. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.